Hi, everybody. Welcome to Beyond the Backcast, where I, Adam Upper, talk with Braydon Kenny to talk about Batman, the animated series, and this week's episode is Avatar. How you doing today, sir?
You lied to me. There's no airbenders or 8-foot blue people in this episode. Avatar my balls.
This is Avatar 3, The Way of the Bat People, man. They decided to do it a little bit differently with the animation to scale it back so it didn't take fucking 10 years for it to come out.
Yeah. We really had to get that 2D animation cracked down.
Yes, but as I said, this week's episode is Avatar. It was the 69th nice episode produced and the 68th to air, having it air May 9th, 1994. Remember what you were doing May 9th, 1994?
I believe that I was in the jury sentencing Joel Giffen, the mass murderer, to be found guilty in New York City court.
Sure.
Yeah, I don't know anything else about
And
that. I just looked up
uh,
what's on the date.
for some reason, I was great. I was hoping it was going to be like the Pelican Brief. So for some reason, I don't know why that popped into my head.
We don't know he
I haven't,
wasn't on the Pelican Briefs.
I haven't. I think I've seen that movie like once. So like I'm not. So it wasn't like it's not like a like it's definitely not like a favorite movie of mine by any stretch. Not to say it's a bad movie, but like I don't know, like was never huge on Julia Roberts really. And this is before my time where I realized how awesome Denzel Washington is. So it wasn't. Yeah. So I definitely haven't gone back to rewatch it. So I have no idea why that movie popped into my head, but it did.
King Kong ain't got shit on me.
And this episode is written by Michael Reeves and directed by Kevin Altieri. Oh yeah, he's definitely becoming like I think probably the second most directed of the episodes. I think next to like Dave Power, I think, or
Mm-hmm.
Power. And is it Power? Do you think it's
Power?
Power? Or yeah, do you think it's Power or Par? Is P-A-U-R? Because I have a feeling I've been saying his name wrong all this time. I think it's probably
I'm gonna go
Par.
with Power.
You
The
went
Power
Power.
Hour.
That feels wrong. So but I imagine that way, like one of these days we'll just get like a really angry email, like either way, if they'd be like, hey, like which way it goes.
And that's where I'm gonna excitedly say, Adam, they're listening. They're actually listening to us. We made it, buddy.
I wouldn't go that far, but it got back to somebody at least, yeah. So
Yeah. This is honestly like I think my favorite Ra's al Ghul episode. I kind of wish it was like a two-parter, but I think it did kind of the impact it needed to, given like the runtime it had. But yeah, this is both Batman kind of meeting an Indiana Jones kind of episode, and also stepping into the realm of the supernatural. Like, there's no smoke and mirrors here. Like, yeah, he was with Zatanna, but it was all like magic tricks in that episode. Batman's fighting a witch.
it belongs in a museum.
So do you.
Yeah, but I didn't quite like the different style of the opening card though, because it was like definitely like totally different, like the
Mhm.
opening card, but which I guess kind of leads into the Egyptian like style, I guess. So it kind of works with like within the episode, but it was definitely a stark contrast to the rest of them because the rest of them are like I 100% in like the style of like the show and stuff instead of this one. So I thought it was a little strange, but what can you do?
Yeah, this
But
opening
yeah, so
scene has
so
them in 1898, where this kid is like at a excavation site with a bunch of people in Egypt, and
Aziz Light.
yeah, that's good. I was trying to find a couple references there, but no, that's sharper than anything I had written down. But yeah, there's this guy who's like lowered in, and do you know who this unfortunate victim is modeled after?
No,
Peter Cushing, aka Grand Moff Tarkin. You may expire when ready. Yeah, so this guy goes like waltzing into like a tomb, and I think he sees like a glowing light, and he's just like a bug to a bug zapper, just like, oh, I wonder what's down there. Oh shit! And like all of a sudden they're like trying to haul up the rope, and they don't get him up. All they see is like a burnt rope at the end, and they all run for their lives. And this kid's just kind of standing there like, what just happened? Like,
Well, if you saw like a green light glowing in another room, unfortunately, I feel I would probably, even though I guess my better judgment, I'd probably do the exact same thing. Be, hey, what the fuck is that? And go look, hey, go looking at it,
yeah.
half expecting it to be like, hi, Mr. Burns, after getting his pupils dilated.
Well, that's the thing. It's like there's only probably two conclusions of this. One, you've walked into the gates of hell, or two, you've discovered underground radiation.
Yeah, either way, it's not a good thing.
But yeah, then we cut to the present where it's the Gotham Museum, and Lucius Fox and Bruce Wayne are there talking about this artifact, and they have this scroll of Osiris that Bruce has like helped bring there, and I think I wrote down what Lucius said because he's like, it's one of the oldest documents in like Egyptian history. It's commendable. It's inspiring. And Bruce is like, it's deductible. Yeah,
Yeah,
I
yeah,
took something from another country because I'm a humanitarian.
because within that, yeah, Lucius was saying he's like, it's commendable that you like sometimes donate to for stuff or whatever sort of thing. And that's where he gets into the it's and get into the it's deductible sort of thing. So he's like, yeah, you think you know being Batman and being rich, it's like you probably donate. It'd be known for donating more money to Gotham other than just like every so often, just like a rich person just get the tax break every year sort of thing. Be like, oh yeah, shit, April is coming up, so I need to.
It's
What's
April
that?
now,
What's
dude.
going? Yeah, yeah, no, yeah, yeah, but yeah, son of a, I knew I was forgetting something. Is there something from Egypt coming into Toronto? One of the museums in Toronto I can give money to?
Yeah, probably. Unless it,
Yeah, probably.
yeah. Just find, I'll just grab some stuff, wrap it in like, toilet paper and paper mache, and, say, look, I brought a mummy. But I thought like, there's kind of a missed opportunity here with like the both like the fact that they're in a museum and that this is like Egyptian related. They could have had a cameo from Carter Hall in this
Yeah, but they seem to be like not bringing in anybody else, like any of the other
after Zatanna.
oh yeah, as a Tanner really, yeah, but that didn't even really feel like, hey, this is another person of the DC universe. It just be just happened to be like somebody that he was training with sort of thing. So they didn't even treat it that way. But like obviously, if you know Batman's background and whatnot, yeah, and everything that Zatanna is one of the big dead DC people and stuff. Yeah, so it's not like they even say or even mention Superman or fucking anybody else sort of thing. Yeah, so but yeah, that would be because if there's anybody here that listens to like Dr. DC like us, yeah, there's like multiple people. Yeah, like DC is like lousy with like archaeologists from the Egypt area, so they could have the big one would have been more fucking our shit, who was it one of the questions that was like an archaeologist too, I think,
He was?
or am I thinking somebody else
I
or
think you might
something?
be right.
There's like there's like some of them, yeah. So you think with how many times like Reed's probably mentioned it, I should remember, but I don't.
I'll look that
But
up
it could be
while
or yeah, or yeah, if it's not the question, yeah, it's one of the other big ones or something like that, or no, it's like no, it's Ted Cord, the Blue Beetle. I think
oh
one of the Blue
yeah.
Beetles was I think was that, or yeah, so it might be that then. I think not the question, so I might have just misspoken that one, yeah, or misremembering. But yeah,
No, yeah, it is Ted Cord you're thinking of. But
okay,
yeah, the one that always makes me laugh is Metamorpho. It's like, I think he said he touched the orb of Ra, and that makes him be able to take the form of like any mineral known to man. I'm like, there is a big leap between those two things there, dude. Like,
Yeah, yeah, yeah. I know very little about Metamorpho, so yeah, so in my mind, I wouldn't have gone to that one. Yeah,
I'm not that like well versed on my Egypt mythology, but I'm pretty sure Ra was not the god of alchemy.
I I think the only thing I know Ra from is was that the god that was mentioned in the Stargate movie, I
Hmm.
think. Yeah, so I think that's not to say like Hollywood movies are like be like known to be based in fact or anything, but but I think that's my only knowledge is from that movie instead of actual like history.
Yeah. Remember, if it's public domain, it's ours to abuse. But
Uh,
yeah, this is where we cut to after Bruce's like makes an excuse to go check out something with like a girl he's seeing. We have a brief cut to like the nighttime of the museum. And did Batman think that somebody was coming after this scroll? Because why else would he be there?
maybe or just or at the very least, I would say the museum's probably on his like nightly like patrol sort of thing, maybe.
Yeah,
So, but I imagine with something like that's worth like money, worth any money that comes into Gotham, I would think that Batman like the first night he'd probably be like camped out more than usual, or have like his yeah, or be worried about it more than he usually would, sort of thing. So maybe, yeah, so maybe he might have been camped out there just to make sure nobody like say like Two-Face or the Joker showed up or like Penguin. Be oh yeah, because I probably pin that more on Two-Face or the Penguin being
yeah.
like to break into a museum and try and steal something that may or may not be worth money.
Is Osiris the
So,
bird
but
god? Because that's definitely the Penguin's MO.
yeah, maybe. So.
I'll look it up. I'll
Yeah.
let you
Yeah,
catch
but yeah,
there.
but as I messaged you, I was watching this episode earlier today that like we find out that it was Ubu breaking into the museum to steal it, and I was like, what kind of fucking poor ass costume was Ubu trying to wear and like to break into it? Like, what? Because there was like almost ninja like, but had like a weird like mask with like a yeah, with a pony hat on it, but I'm trying not to make reference to it like a certain costume that has a pointy hat on it. That's in everyone's back in everyone's minds
You're
nowadays.
talking about the Death Eaters, right? Right?
Yeah, yeah, yes,
Totally.
that's the ticket. But yeah, then but yeah, like but as like Ubu in his poor costume is stealing that, you see like Batman come in and like have a small tussle with him, and then then demask him and find out it's Ubu, and then I don't know why like Raj Al Ghul would be there as well to be like, yeah, it's me.
Because he
Because like, why the
loves
fuck would you
watching
have
Batman work.
yeah, he's a Batman cuck, I guess. Yeah, so yeah, so he like demasks Subu, and he's like, "Oh, it's you," and then he's like shows up. He's like, "Yeah, that's right, but detective, it's me doing this thing." So
Yeah.
it was like, and then Ubu like throws something at him, and he like, I
Now
think yeah,
Raj
you,
throws like a
it's
snake at him.
Raj. Yeah, he
Probably
throws
not the
something
only
at it.
snake that he wants to throw at Batman. Am I right?
And yeah, and too, I think if something was thrown at me, like I have like decent, like I don't have like a super good like hand-eye coordination reaction, but I probably would try and grab whatever was thrown at me too, like that, like out of like force of habit too. So then be like, haha, oh shit, it's a snake, and then yeah, he gets bit, and then
Oh shit, it's a snake.
and I would imagine like Batman would have some sort of like anti-venom in his thing, but I think anti-venom is very specific to the snake.
Yeah.
And it's like he said it was like a weird like Egypt specific snake or whatever. I can't remember the rest of the name of it was, but it was like Egypt was in there too. So like, like if you would have, yeah, if that was the case, you'd have like a super huge like bat belt, or like
Yeah.
or work on like TARDIS rules, where it's bigger in the inside, just to have like anti venom from like every single snake that's like venomous in the world that he may run into.
Holy crap. Yeah, and that's just the ones like we have in the real world. Like
Yeah, yeah, and then all like the made up snakes that they may do just to do
this is the
that.
Serpentor anti-venom. This is the Basilisk anti-venom.
Or the oh shit, or what's the one from GI Joe?
Serpentor.
Yeah, you just okay.
Yeah. I've been on a bit of a GI Joe kickback lately. I don't know why. Like I think I just miss Cobra Commander. I just miss like a faceless screaming maniac of a villain.
Yeah, the number two who like thinks they should be number one, but clearly fucking sucks at their job.
Yeah.
Like him and like Starscream are like
Oh
my two
yeah.
favorite two like favorite like examples of that. Like there are competent but annoying number twos that think they should be like the like supreme leader number ones that clearly can't do the job. They just want the recognition.
Fun fact,
So
there's at least one iteration of Cobra Commander where he's definitely voiced by the same actor who plays Starscream.
I wouldn't doubt it. Yeah. I wouldn't
Yeah.
doubt like the original one of both is probably like the same voice actor, if not close to that.
Yeah. But
And I wish the made for TV movie of the GI Joe like the GI Joe movie like held up like the Transformers movie, because I think I like about like 20 years ago, I think it was my first trip into the Silver Snail in Toronto, like that before I lived here. Is I came in to grab like the first season of the animated Transformers show, because I like loved that show growing up. It was like one of my favorite shows, and like this is before like the internet, what it is now, so we couldn't really get it online before at that point. So like yeah, this is before like the seasons of DVDs were really popular. So I came and did that and watched it, and the show itself is fucking rough as hell looking back on it.
yeah.
But the animated movie is fucking really good.
Yeah.
And so I was like, oh yeah, if the Transformers animated movie holds up and is actually good, hopefully the GI Joe movie will be good as well. And I think I got like maybe 10 minutes into this movie fucking sucks, and I had to stop. And I rarely ever stop a movie because it's bad, because I'm gone on record for for liking bad movies, like unironically just liking them, because like guys, I always like Ang Lee's probably gonna come kick my ass, but I always reference like the Ang Lee Hulk movie is like the one
Yeah,
that
Ang Lee's got nothing better to do but to
unironically
hunt
like
you
that movie.
down. Actually, what is Ang
He's like,
Lee
stop
doing
referencing
right
my movie
now?
as a bad movie, man. It's just
Actually,
tiny.
what
He's
is
like,
he actually
fuck that
doing
guy.
right now?
I have no idea. He's like, fucking that guy from Canada. Stop bringing up my movie. Like, okay, I get it. It's a bad movie. Just stop fucking referencing, man. Shut the fuck up.
At least he's not Uwe Boll asking you to box him in a ring because you called his movie crap. Sorry, Dr. Uwe Boll.
That's the
Blood Rain.
yeah, okay, and did he do like some of the other Mila Jovovich movies, or was it just that one? Or am I thinking of
Uh,
somebody else?
he also did In the Name of the King, which is like the Dungeon Siege movie, which I'm like, I
I
am
don't
not
know.
much of a Dungeon Siege fan, but like, yeah, this is bad. Like when your fantasy villain is Ray Liotta, yeah.
Yeah, he'd be a good bad guy, I think. No.
He sounds like he just walked off the set of Goodfellas. And you have all the emotional range of Jason Statham in that.
What's the job?
Yeah. I'm gonna transport you on a horse and cart. But
Uh, Did you ever watch the no shit, what was it, not the transporters, but uh the shit where they find out where he had like 24 hours to live and he like had his like
Oh,
heart ripped
Crank.
out and he Crank, yeah, there you go, the Crank movies.
My dad put that on for us one day and quickly turned it off because a certain graphic scene was shown within the first 5 minutes. I'm like, you
But
really got to check the rating on this, Dad. Like,
yeah, what that is that the one with his wife or his
probably.
girlfriend or whatever, or whatever. But yeah, there was a bad movies, but I fucking love those two, man.
Yeah.
And then like this second one where him and the one guy just end up at the electric like station or like substation. They just all of a sudden they're like kaiju size and fucking fight and then just turn back and like run away.
Peak cinema.
I remember fucking say I missed the first one in the theater and going to and seeing that and seeing that scene and just fucking laughing my ass off as it's like playing out.
I would like to thank the Academy for this honor, for this award. I'd like to thank my dentist for always making sure that they scratch the inside of my throat before I'm leaving for filling. But yeah, where the heck were we in this recap? Oh yeah, he was talking to Alfred in the back cave about the snake venom and saying, "Yeah, Ra's al Ghul's alive." And he said he was gonna go check on somebody in, was it Gibraltar? Yeah, which I was
Yeah,
like, I've never heard of this country before. So, but one thing is really cool is like we see just kind of like
you've you've never heard of the Rock of Gibraltar?
oh, you heard about that too? Yeah. Yeah.
Have you not like it's a known thing? Yeah, because that's like a big like naval like area sort of thing in that part of the world. Yeah, it's
My naval history ended shortly after Pearl Harbor, dude.
no, this is like way before, man. This because like that's like what was it
Let me rephrase that. It began with Pearl Harbor and ended with Pearl Harbor
oh
because
with that
Pearl Harbor
Affleck.
sucked.
Actually, I've purposely not seen that movie.
Yeah, unlike Titanic, I'm not going to force you to watch that. Yeah. But yeah, so we have this Indiana Jones thing of like him like, like the red line like flying across the, the world and he's dressed in his one thing of note and I was like this is going to definitely lose a couple of points in the end of the episode because we've seen Batman on globetrotting adventures before. He is really not in the costume except for the first and third act. Like he's mostly for a good chunk of this, he's just Bruce Wayne. He's still fighting, but it's like you've had times where you just decide to wear the costume, like kind of even walking down the streets of like Morocco, dude.
Yeah, so maybe I heard my other notes on the last time he did like a world trotting escapade where he's like, yeah, sometimes it's maybe a good idea to just go as Bruce Wayne instead of Batman to sometimes you got to be a little less obvious because you're not in Gotham just trying to scare the thugs into not you know mugging somebody or trying to hold up the local convenience store or something. Yeah, so
Actually, come to think of it, I think that Alfred said, like, what do you want me to tell the stockholders if they're looking for you? He's like, I'm going to Gibraltar. But that's not an alibi. He's literally going to Gibraltar. So it's like, wouldn't you want to make something up? Like he's done
and,
that in
and
other stories. Like,
and yeah, going to Gibraltar isn't really a thing. Like it's like a part of it, like going there for business or pleasure. He's like, oh, I need to go see
it's
my
Bruce Wayne.
mistress in
It's
Gibraltar.
pleasure.
Or yeah, so like it's part of it. It's part of a reason why he's not there, but not like a full reason. Is he's going there, yes, but why? Why is he going there and skipping out of the meeting or whatever the fuck was going on? So
Why? Because I'm rich and shut up.
because I want to, man. That's why. Because fuck you guys. That's why.
Because I can. No.
Because we all
Uh,
know these fucking meetings are boring as fuck. I don't want to be here. So
this could
like,
have been
fuck
an
you.
email.
Yeah, like yeah, like make the internet like and yeah, and then it could have been an email. Yeah.
Just some corporate tip here. Like, not that I'm one to do an office job, but with these like quarterly meetings that all these companies have, hey guys, our profits are up. Meeting adjourned. Or our profits are down. We'll have to work on it next time. Meeting adjourned. Like spend less time like circle jerking each other and get back to work.
Yeah, make my Roger Stark go back up because yeah, I figures to like about 2 months ago when I finally was able to start buying into like the work share program and the stocks at work, they've just been fucking steadily going down. It
I
fucking
can't
sucks.
imagine why. It's not Roger's fault. We know that.
Oh it's not just them, it's everybody. Yeah, so if it was just them, yeah, it'd be something different. But yeah, I think last week it did go down because after the news of the new NHL deal that we had, it was like the 12 years at like 7.7 billion.
That
So
sounds
like
good. Why would it go down?
because I don't think it's making money.
Oh, yeah, yeah.
Well, actually, I was going to say that means I would have to be doing like hockey night in Canada on the weekend on Saturdays, but like I don't work on those channels anymore, and I highly doubt one of my channels will end up picking that up at some point. So I think I'm like the one person on the weekends that doesn't have to deal with hockey in some regard on my 311 or midnight shift.
Mm.
But actually, in a way, I actually kind of miss it because I always like made a big deal about going into it beforehand, and then to realize it's actually as long as you're actually half-assly paying attention, you'll be
You have to
fine.
watch a hockey game and
So,
get paid for it.
but I don't follow hockey though, so after every time, like somebody would be like, "Oh yeah, which game are you watching?" I'm like, I have no idea. I know at least one of them is a Canadian team, if not both of them, because that's why we're airing it. It's because it's one of the Canadian teams.
Yeah.
And it's most likely one of the West Coast teams because, like, I'll be most likely be on the one of the West Coast channels, either the cities or the Omni. So, but beyond that, I barely, yeah, I don't really follow hockey. So
Well, speaking
I'm
of
always
follow,
curious.
yeah.
Go ahead.
Speaking of following, Bruce has been able to follow Talia al Ghul to her estate in Gibraltar, and this is the return of Helen Slater as Talia. And he's saying like, "Your father's alive." She's like, "He just couldn't be alive. Like, he would have contacted me." And it's like, what do you kind of betrayed him. Uh, and Roz is not the kind of person to take betrayal well.
Whatever do you mean?
I think he thinks that Batman betrayed him. It's like, I was never on your side. Like, you keep using that word. I don't think it means what you think it means.
Yeah, why wouldn't you take me up on my offer, my obviously crazy person offer to take over the world from like a 600-year-old person?
Knowing Roz, even if he had like somehow managed to like hook up Batman and his daughter, he probably would have also wanted like prima nocta, but not with her. Yeah, so she's like saying I love this because she's saying like she's like standing on like the windswept balcony. She's like, "You and my father are so alike, making me choose between the two of you." Cue to her immediately embracing him, and it's working.
It's like, no, I don't want you to choose me at all. In fact, I left and didn't want you at all. So
I'm just not that into you, lady. Like, yeah, something tells me that you would be doing some very unethical things with my DNA. Yeah. Did I ever
but
tell
that's
you?
for that's for another time.
Yeah. Did I ever tell you, by the way, that uh, I found some more info on the Batman than like the Damian Wayne origin thing?
Okay. What's this?
So one of the when we were at Comic Con, well, there was a podcaster named Diana McCollum who does like a really good show called Talk from Superheroes, and she came up with a book which I have a copy of right here, "Sex Lives of Superheroes," and you're gonna like this. The chapter is Batman hates guns because he shoots blanks. I'll read it very quickly here just to see where I'm going with this. Of the four Robins that were mentioned, only Damian Wayne is biologically related to Bruce, and even he wasn't conceived by normal means. Bruce's DNA was stolen by Talia al Ghul, who used it to grow Damian in an artificial womb, which means that despite the fact that he was a literal child army running around the Batcave, Bruce has never naturally fathered a child. And there's a good reason. Because being Batman has taken such a toll on his body that it's probably made him physically unable to be a father. And I'm not going to get into like the heavy duty science, but yeah, this just reinforces my theory that make Damien a friggin' clone. That's what Roz wants anyway.
Well, he's not, yeah, but that just may make him Terry then.
So
And
what?
good. Yeah, Damien sucks though.
He sucked at the beginning. He started to grow a conscience, and he kind of sucks again, doesn't he? He's kind
Yeah,
of
yeah,
come full
nice.
circle.
He just kind of sucks less, maybe.
Yeah. Yeah, it is kind of a nature versus nurture thing, isn't it? But yeah, so Bruce is like talking to Talia, and he's like, your father and I disagreed on many things, but the one thing that we could agree on was our feelings of you. And it's like, yeah, Roz would be the type to have an Ivanka Trump type daughter relationship, if you know what I mean. No, it is for the good of my dynasty, daughter. By the way, I don't know if you've ever picked up on this. Roz mostly refers to her by the name daughter. He doesn't call her first name. Like, you are just addressed as what you are to me and by association to me. Like, that's
Well,
all you are.
well, yeah, yeah, it just goes with like that's what he calls Batman detective. Yeah, so he's like, yeah, so just what you are instead of yeah, well, that's all too. Like, imagine like being like 600 years old, like that part of your brain where you're trying to store names is just fucking shot to this point. So he just could be
Oh, yeah.
being like, yeah, it's probably just like you. Yeah, so like just call them like by their uh, by the job or what they do. Yeah. Would probably is probably the best way to so you can remember them now at this point.
Yeah. That's a good
It's like
point. Yeah.
I know your face, stutter.
Well, what's funny is because we mentioned Ubu earlier. I learned this that after because Ubu showed up in this show first and then became part of the comics lore with Roz. So there is always an Ubu. Like for the past like 600 years, there's been Ubu, son of Ubu, son of Ubu, son of Ubu. Since like time immemorial. It's like you have no choice and you're like, what happens if you're born a girl? Like,
It's still Ubu,
yeah,
yeah. I don't care. It's Ubu the 17th,
yeah,
yeah.
Ubu the 69th.
Remember, daughter.
Yeah. Oh yeah,
So that's
yeah.
not that's not good,
Yeah.
man.
Yeah, yeah. Let's move on from that. So he says like I need your help to stop Roz and she's like well I guess if I'm having to stop him I guess I'll do it because you're hot or something. Um but I think they're head to Cairo next, right?
Yeah, because yeah, I think because when they saw the full map for the moment or whatever, and he's like, and he said like, yeah, let's go there. He's like, how do I? And Talia says like, how'd you know that? He's like, well, I saw the map. And he's like, well, only for a moment. Well, like I am Batman. That is kind of my thing, really. So I'd be a bad superhero if yeah, top tier superhero if I didn't look at map and just yeah, because I imagine it would even not in this case, that was probably something that you would probably need to learn. One of the
Yep.
first things you need to learn, just in case or whatever, for
Mental
multiple things.
snapshot.
If he's like going into a building, yeah, yeah, yeah. So he goes there and yeah, and just made me think that I was like hoping for another like mummy situation, but it wasn't. But it
No, they
seemed
they go to
more,
this shop
yeah,
and
yeah,
in like the market, and it's like this antique dealer, and I forget like what they said. I think they said they wanted to. I don't think they outright said we want to talk to Ra's al Ghul. I think they wanted to look into something. And Batman has this. It kind of looks like a tricorder. I think he said like it's an ultrasonic like frequency detector or something.
yeah. It was a ultrasonic display or something, but it was like the wording of it was I felt like what he called it was wrong because it was just detecting the thing and opening it. So like, but he made it seem like he wrote like it should have had a screen and being like, okay, there's a door behind there and no one sort of thing. So what he
Oh
called it
yeah,
was what he called it wasn't what it was doing.
yeah. Like I don't need a Geiger counter to figure out there's a hidden passageway here.
Yeah, yeah, if you call it something else or something like that, and it would be like yeah, it'd be like do 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 beep beep beep, and then be like okay, the door, then yes, but
Yeah,
like just what he called it, yeah, it is.
yeah,
It felt weird that so I was like, it's two different things, man.
yeah, yeah. Because they go like looking behind this like sarcophagus of like a pharaoh's like coffin, and
It, which made me think of like what was it? Either one of the Iron Mans, or I think Age of Ultron, where like Robert Downey Jr. was like looking for the trap
oh
door.
yeah,
He's like, "Oh, trap door," and then yeah, forget it. Then
please be a
it's
secret
like,
door. Please be a secret door.
yeah, yeah, sorry,
Yay!
or whatever it is, yeah, or whichever movie that's fucking from, I can't remember. Yeah, but it just made me think of that. Had that scene for a second.
I just love like the casual yay, like he
Yeah,
does at the end there.
yeah.
Yeah, that and like yeah, Hydra, we do not surrender. I'm going to surrender. I am Hydra. I'm not stupid. Captain America kicked my ass. He already kicked our ass like 70 years ago.
Do you ever see probably I've seen this before? Have you seen Kiss Kiss Bang Bang?
That is on my list. I have not
But
seen it.
yeah. Especially now that Val Kilmer's gone, R.I.P.
I
Batman
know.
Forever. Batman. Yeah, he was in that too, and they play off each other really well in that movie. So I'd definitely suggest moving that to like top of your like watch next list.
Will
So
do.
yeah, it's a great movie, and yeah, I think he did that like right before, or right after, like I think we had like right before Iron Man or like right after, right around that time. Yeah, but it is like he's really good in it. It's one of my favorite movies. I think
Nice.
definitely worth checking out.
Will do. And
Yeah.
so when they're getting into oh yeah, the shop owner is like,
Oh yeah, that's right. I
yeah,
got sidetracked so much I forgot where we were. Yeah, but yeah,
you and me get
looking.
sidetracked. What kind of podcast do you think this is?
I know that. I know with how much I get sidetracked on off my shelf, I think I'd be used to it by now, but apparently not. It's been a while since I've been in an episode with her, so I sort of haven't starting to lose focus a little bit. But yeah, but I think just as they're opening the trapdoor thing, that you see like the shopkeeper like have like a rope lasso or something like that, and like grabs his arm and holds him back.
Yeah, his
And then he
thugs have
sees
better
like
weapons than
him and
he
like
does. Like, I'll get you with
they
this
just like
lasso. Like, what the hell is a lasso gonna do?
or just like what I just happen to be having this in my shop, and they're like, okay, well, you just rope us a lasso.
I don't want to know what he was doing with that rope, dude.
We you know somebody with rope that's they're not like a carpenter or something, or like work outside. Yeah, never ask what to do with rope.
Yeah. But yeah, they make a quick work of these guys, and Teddy's like, "We make a good team, don't we?" He's like, "Yeah, we do." And just a little aside here, I noticed, especially in this scene, the animator in this episode seems to love riding breeches because the flashback guy had riding breeches, Talia's wearing riding breeches, Bruce is wearing riding breeches. Later on, Roz is wearing riding breeches. If you guys don't know what they are, like think of like those like inflated looking pants that like the Imperial officers in Star Wars wear. Like the where it looks like your hips are like jagged or like inflated. I'm like, why are they obsessed with these? I like
Because
thunder thighs and I can't
because
lie.
think thighs save lives, man. Don't you
Yeah.
know? Because or to quote Abe Simpson, it was the style at the time.
Yeah. It was the thighs at the time. But yeah, so they get down to the like kind of uh the basement of the place and they're looking at like the so I guess it was two halves of a single map. The
Yeah,
Scroll of Osiris was one, and then there was another that Roz had.
yeah. Because because Talia was saying that, that he had the first half and spent like a good chunk of time, looking for that one. Yeah. So do you think like when they find out that it's like, do we think that was an actual like Lazarus pit or like something else?
Oh, are you talking about like when they get to like the tomb? They're not there yet.
Yeah. Okay.
Yeah, because first it's explaining like what they're looking for. Because yeah, Roz is there. He's like, I was waiting for you, detective, and he's like,
I guess he gives his villain monologue or whatever. Yeah, he's looking for the tomb of the lady that I forget what her
I think it
name
was
is.
Toth Capera.
Yeah, I think so, something like that.
Yeah,
Yeah, and then she like had was like was able to control like light or something like that.
I think he
Was
said
it?
like life and death, which like given his obsession with immortality, like kind of tracks.
Yeah,
And yeah, like to your point, because I know where you're headed with this. Like, yeah, I think like she has some connection to the Lazarus pits because even when they find her, she's standing in this kind of like glowing green pool. Um, so yeah, I suspect that like he wants to find her to see like if there's a way of like accessing powers of the Lazarus pit that he doesn't know about. Um,
yeah.
and so
Or if it was just coincidental that it looks like Lazarus Benedict, because I'm not sure if he knew that's where she was like deriving the power from, sort of thing. Like, yeah, I think by the look of the map and stuff, it didn't look like it. But like, obviously, with like, we know because we saw like the opening scene with when they were back in the day and they're like 100 years ago, sort of thing, with like the kid and stuff that they we saw was glowing, and obviously with it being a Raj Al Ghul episode, you obviously want to think Lazarus Pit sort of thing. So yeah, so I think at the very least we're meant to assume it is. So and then
yeah.
which is funny why I brought up Blue Beetle earlier, because I was thinking, I wonder if it's was like a similar thing like with the Scarab with Ted Cord, is that
Oh.
it kind of worked for him, where it kind of where like the pit kind of works with Raj Al Ghul, where yeah, it is the Batman that she was ruling for 1,000 years, and and this episode and the last Raj Al Ghul episode, it's been said that he's been alive for 600-ish years.
Hmm.
I'm guessing it's not. I'm guessing he's not exactly 600 years old, but he's probably 600 and whatever. But you just at that point, I'm not. I don't think you count individual years at this point. You do like, yeah, I'm 650, 700 years old, instead of being like, yeah, I'm 631 years old, sort of thing. So and then I totally forgot where I was going.
Blue Beetle.
I totally, yes, yeah, there you go, and sort of thing. And then, and then with her, like the queen, yeah, is kind of like the Jaime Reyes version, where where it fully unlocks, sort of thing, and she's getting like the full powers from the Lazarus pit, sort of thing, and which
Unlimited power.
Yeah, or if it was like a corrupted version of the Lazarus Pit, maybe like that one, because I think in the last episode with Raja Ghul, you're saying that there's multiple Lazarus Pits around the
Yeah.
world, or if it wasn't in that one, it's mentioned at some point,
Mhm.
sort of thing. So if it was that, or it could have just been like a corrupted version of it, or just coincidentally looks like a Lazarus Pit because were we kind of assume to think that because it's a Raj al Ghul episode. So
Mhm.
I wonder what the backstory on that part is, because I don't think it was ever really said. It's just I think it was just really left to our imagination really and what it is.
Yeah. Yeah, because like he says like she was worshipped as a goddess, like
Yeah.
basically like a queen like deity. And so like he's like this is gonna lead me straight to her tomb. And I love Batman's comment. He's like, "You surprised me, or you surprised me, Raish. You know, like the world's oldest show." Okay, I'm gonna say this one more time while I have a tongue in my mouth. You surprised me, Raish. The world's oldest chauvinist pining after a woman. And Roz is like, "She will be my sugar mama." And then I think he like just decides to like trap them in a glass cage with no oxygen. And Talia's
Yeah,
like,
yeah, because I had that too. Like, yeah, it's not like they're like secretly like standing like on the X on the floor. It's like I need to lead them here so that I can press this button and make the glass the glass cage to trap them sort of thing, or if it's just like be able to maneuver it wherever they're saying standing sort of thing. So I thought that was very weird. The weird choice from them to do is doing that, or they could have just had like a cage like fall down hanging from like a rope and pulley system like that. That would have made more sense where they were instead of having like a glass cage like raise up from the floor.
it gets better because I'm about
But
to confirm whether my memory is serving me right. I'm pretty sure that Ubu had a gun on them. So again, just shoot them. No, I want him to chase me. He had a gun. Yep. Shoot, Ubu, shoot.
good dog.
Woof.
Uh, if I always forget like what was like the main show I watched that had that at the end, or is there just so many that when we were growing up that it's just kind of
It all bleeds together,
accumulated.
dude.
Yeah, so yeah, I mean, I have a feeling it's probably one show more than that, but yeah, it's gonna bother me now. I'm trying to remember where that was from. It's my days off. I can check that later.
Yeah, yeah. Yeah,
We
so
need to finish talking about Batman first.
yeah. But yeah, so Raz is shame on you, daughter. You left me to die and you betrayed me for this hot piece of sliced meat. And it's like, yes, but you like him too. It's like, yes, I do, but no, I can't. I must have my, Egyptian queen. And so he's like, farewell, daughter. They say that immortality is lived through your children. Alas, I know that to be a lie. It's like, bro, in 600 years, how many kids have you had? Actually, we know he has at least one more because that'll show up in another episode. But yeah. So like he leaves them and they walk away and Bruce is like trying to like break down the glass from the inside, like just body checking it, and she's like, "You're gonna run out of air soon. Like there's no point, but at least we will die together." And he's like, "Yeah, that's not happening." And so
Yeah, that's where he says like, "Yeah, fuck this," and then pulls out the sonic key, whatever doohickey device that he had, and puts it up,
mm,
and yeah, I think he rips off like part of it inside of his pockets and gives some to Talia and puts it in his ears just because it's like the sonic device or whatever, and then like turns it on and it vibrates and thusly like shatters the glass and allows them to escape.
mm,
And then is and then as that's happening, it's like we're like uh, while these fuck if I can talk, I would say while that is happening, it's not while Rations down has gone down into the pit, and that's where
yeah,
they,
he's gotten to the tomb, because he thinks like he's gonna be in like the sarcophagus, and that's when,
oh yeah, that's right. Yeah, he
yeah.
opens up the because Ubu pushes off the top of the sarcophagus, and then he sees like the scrolls, and then he
Mhm.
grabs the first one, and like because it's like you know thousands of years old at this point, you think you would know not to handle you know thousands of year old like paper
You're alive for
like that.
6 centuries, dude. You of all people should know this.
Yeah, stuff that also is a bit frail, and then it like just disintegrates, and then further he grabs it more, and then more of them fucking do that. You're like, dude, after the first one, you should stop fucking touching this shit, man. Like, come on,
Yeah,
pretty fucking stupid for being 600 years old, man.
yeah. Oh, I touched it more and it broke more. Just
What?
old
Like, what?
fart
Why
down.
does it keep on going away for? Ugh.
Yeah.
You're like a fucking child. Stop touching.
This dude is 100% the type of person who eats pizza with a fork. But yeah, so he's like, no, no. And so Batman and Talia use that as an excuse to like try and outmaneuver the goons and Ubu. So like they're fighting around. There's a scene of Batman kicking over a statue. Like these things are humongous and probably made of like at least sandstone,
Yeah,
given like the
yeah, it's some sort of solid stone, yeah, or whatever. Yeah,
yeah,
so
like
so
that
yeah, so you
guy's
see.
dead, which is fitting because you're in a tomb. And yeah, that's when Roz, I guess he finds like a secret like button or something, and realizes there's like a staircase down into the pit. And yeah, that's where he sees what I conclude to be a Lazarus pit. But okay, again, how smart is Roz? Because like, there's a lot of warning signs here. One, he's going up to a green glowing pool, which yeah, I
Yeah,
know that's
yeah,
his shtick, but they're
but
surrounded by skeletons.
yeah, you see, it's like a lot of like dead soldiers of all types, like trying to get at it. Yeah, and then yeah, this is not one of your known glowing Lazarus pits, so like you should if it's if it has, so you should know that at least go up to it with caution. And then, yeah, then at some point, as he's walking up to it, you see like what is we're sort of suspect is like the queen that he's been looking for, and he's like, and she's like talking to him, being like, "Hey, come to me," sort of thing or whatever, and he's like being like, "Yeah, joining me," and all this sort of shtick or whatever, and then you kind of look at it, and then you kind of fades from them talking to it being like a little skeleton-y looking lady, and he's like, and she's like basically like a succubus and like sucking his powers, I guess, or whatever sort of thing,
Oh yeah,
or like
he
yeah,
fell into a literal thirst trap.
yeah, or yeah, he's like guys, or like stealing his like life force, I guess, or whatever sort of thing, or whatever. Because you see him like starting to grow all to crypt keeper,
Yeah.
and that's where Batman and Talia come down, and uh, how'd they get her to stop sucking on his powers?
Well, I think like she saw them coming down, and then okay, so like the one difference between this Lazarus pit is like this is like kind of slimier, like because she's got like these like kind of gooey
Oh yeah.
like ghouls that come out. Like, is this what happens if like Roz takes an aqua dump in the Lazarus pit? Like they do say when you die you void your bowels, so who knows? Um,
Oh yeah. So as I was going off before they stop her, they has like these schools coming up, and then it has like a little green tentacly friggin' thing coming up and trying to. And does it actually grab Batman, or is it? Oh yeah, because yeah, I think
it
it grabs
grabs
Batman.
Talia, I think.
Yeah, and then as it's drawing them closer, like they pick up one of the sword from one of the dead soldiers are there, and they ends up friggin' with a couple chops, ends up chopping it off. And then like Batman like throws it at some point, throws like a grenade and like explodes everything, and
He's
doesn't
got to be
really
loving
spot
this
like it.
loophole in the no kill rule, eh?
With the good just being random ghouls, yeah, and then yeah, that doesn't stop it at all. And I think that may have been after. No, excuse me, sorry. I think that might have been after they got Rish uh, out from her powers because I don't think he'd intentionally play, even though they always button heads and stuff. Like I don't think he'd blow up Rish Al Ghul. I don't think with a grenade.
No.
So yeah, so I think he does that. Then the ghouls just raise up again and stuff. So I think that's where they go back up the stairs, and Batman pushes like the bigger statue, and like for a moment stops him, the queen from following us, but then just start everything starts to collapse onto Lazarus pit, and then
Mhm.
they which allows them to escape. Yeah, and then there shows them like are they on camels or horses as they're getting
They were
away.
on horses, yeah, because she says dismount your horse when
Yeah,
she.
because at first, yeah, you see, at first you see Rash's, his hands are tied and stuff, and he's like, and Batman saying like, yeah, okay, now that we've got them, we can take them into the authorities and all this stuff, and then we find out that his Talia's like, oh, even though he's my father, it's Ra's al Ghul, and he didn't tell me that he was back from the dead. It's still my father, so Toodaloo, Batman, you're fuck you. We're gonna leave you here.
He's gonna be so sweaty in the desert. Like, I mean, yeah, like Ubu, as because we kind of skipped over like as he's like running out of the temple, he like saves Ubu, and even Ubu's like grabbing onto him like a scared little toddler, and he's like, "Ah!" And so as like a kind of like note of respect, he throws him like a canteen, probably made of the drool Ubu has whenever he's looking at Ra's al Ghul from afar, and Draws is like, another time, detective. And Batman's like, yes, another time. But yeah, like, Bruce, I know you're so like gung ho about like your secret identity, but you are gonna die of heat stroke if you don't at least take off that mask in the desert. Who's gonna see you in the desert? That's why it's the desert. It's like, what's that line from the Scorpion King? Nobody goes to the Valley of the Dead. That's why it's called the Valley of the Dead.
Or he could be looking for the leader of the or the whatever the fuck John Wick was doing out in the desert in the fourth one.
Oh, the high table?
Yeah, high table. Yeah, that's it, or whatever. Or is that how we find out that Batman's secretly the part of the high table?
Hey, I'd be down for even just Keanu Reeves as Batman. We're gonna have a new Batman actor soon.
Yeah, but they probably want someone younger so they can fucking lock them up for multiple movies and stuff,
Yeah, probably.
and unfortunately, yeah, Keanu Reeves isn't getting any younger,
No.
just like us all.
You know, it's funny because like we used to say like he's like immortal, and
Yeah,
then when he did that crappy Matrix Revolutions movie, and of course there's the part where he's like deplugged from the Matrix, and so like he's got a shaved head and no beard, and it's like, oh no, you can see the age on his face. He just hides it with facial hair.
yeah, yeah. Not all of us are Paul Rudd.
Yeah. But yeah, no, that was Avatar, and yeah. Oh, one quick thing we should make mention of before we get to our rating and final thoughts. Do you know who the voice of Doth Capera was?
I do not.
Nichelle Nichols,
Oh,
aka
nice.
Uhura,
Oh, nice.
who clearly didn't need some feathery fans to seduce Ra's al Ghul. Do you know
Uh, but,
the story
but
behind that scene, by the way, in Final Frontier?
I'm sure why do I have a feeling it's probably the director being shitty or something.
Not so much shitty as just kind of an idiot. It said David Lurie, who was like the screenwriter, the project, jokingly proposed to have Uhura appear as an erotic dancer to lure away the hostage takers, and he was surprised when the producers were like, "Yeah, let's do that." Like, I was kidding. It's like, no, let's do it. It's like, maybe we should ask Nichelle. No, no, she doesn't need to have a say in this. Like,
Yeah,
yeah,
so he is being shitty. Yeah.
he started the snowball effect of shitty behavior and
No,
led
man,
to
man,
other
no,
people
yeah,
being
no,
shitty.
but yeah, man, but the director like saying like, yeah, let's roll with it. Yeah,
Yeah,
not the him for making a joke.
yeah.
All right, but yeah, what would you give this episode out of five ubus?
Ooh, boo. Um, I'm going to give it 4 out of 5 Ubus. It's still my favorite Ra's al Ghul episode of the series. And I like that, it's got like a kind of globe-trotting, like,
You don't like the Jonah Hex episode?
I mean, I like the like Malcolm McDowell of that equation, but I'll share my thoughts when we get to that. Um, but yeah, no, I thought that it was pretty good. The animation was stellar, and it pushes the boundaries of a lot of the sensors and stuff. And yeah, no, it was the only thing that I wish it had more of was Bruce in the Batman costume.
Yeah, and usually one of our criticisms, if he's like doing something not in Gotham, is like, yeah, you should probably be doing be like not in his costume all the time.
I can't
But
win.
so yeah, so I think I'd give it 3.5 ubus. I think because it was a decent random like Raj al Ghul episode of Globetrotting trying to do some weird ass friggin' thing that prolong his life and whatnot. And it's always interesting. They always end up back in like Egypt and doing some like archaeology stuff. Yeah, because they said with if you're a listener of the Doctor DC stuff, yeah, you know that they're friggin' lousy with that. So, but yeah, I think I'll give it a 3.5 out of 5 as well. But that is the episode for this week, folks. Thanks for joining us in the Batcave to talk about Batman, the animated series. Next week's episode will be House and Garden. And if you couldn't tell by the title of the episode, I'm fairly certain that's a Poison Ivy episode. So you can join us next week for that and find out if I'm guessing correctly. And you can follow us on Twitter/X at Beyond the Backcast, on Instagram at Beyond the Backcast. We're on YouTube at youtube.com/ at Beyond the Backcast. Check us out there or wherever you listen to your podcasts. Rate, review, subscribe. It'll help us out. And where can we find you on the internet, Braden?
You can find me on my podcast, Fandom and Folklore, where we talk about fantasy movies and TV shows and the fandoms that follow them. And if you'd like to find more of our related material for Beyond the Backcast, find us on Instagram, Beyond the Backcast, and go to our link tree, and you can find a link to our Discord, where we talk about all sorts of Batman stuff.
All right, and you can follow me on Instagram, Matt Stonechunkin. That is my personal account. And as I said, thanks for joining us in the Batcave to talk about Batman, the anime series at Beyond the Backcast. Goodbye, good chums. Kapow.